Some people walk into a room and immediately capture every eye. Others naturally gravitate toward them, eager to listen and connect, as if drawn by a specific invisible energy. This kind of presence is rarely a matter of luck or a fixed personality type. It is a replicable skill rooted in behavioral science, a practical formula that governs how we perceive social value. Over the next 7 days, you will put this formula into practice. You won't need an audience or a stage. You will execute these steps in your existing daily routine, using your normal environments to rebuild your social influence from the ground up. To begin, you have to turn off your default programming. Most people spend their lives in main character mode, constantly monitoring how they look or rehearsing their next sentence. The mandatory first step to becoming magnetically likable is shifting that focus entirely onto others. Day 1 focuses on your baseline approachability. This philosophy rests on shifting focus away from yourself. Your only task is to give a genuine, warm smile to 5 strangers in your standard daily encounters, whether it's a barista, a coworker, or someone passing you on the street. The human brain forms a first impression in just 7 seconds. By smiling, you trigger the halo effect. The halo effect is a cognitive bias where a single positive trait, like friendliness, leads others to automatically assume you are also trustworthy and confident. Accuracy matters here. A forced, stiff grin signals tension and can actually trigger social anxiety in others. To work, the expression must be relaxed and authentic. On day 2, you will deepen that initial trust. Your goal is to use a person's name naturally 3 times during a single casual conversation. To any human being, their own name is the most important sound they can hear. When it is spoken, the brain's emotional center, the amygdala, immediately activates. The amygdala is an almond-shaped cluster in the brain responsible for processing emotions and memory. Hearing one's name acts as a direct neurological reward. Weave it into the dialogue effortlessly. Start with a greeting, use it to anchor an agreement, and use it to close. Mastering these 2 foundational steps allow you to bypass logical defenses. You are building a layer of subconscious trust before you even begin a formal discussion. Day 3 requires a significant shift in self-control. Find a colleague and listen for 2 minutes without interrupting. Your only tools are nonverbal nods and attentive eye contact. Research from the Department of Psychology at Harvard University shows that the vast majority of human interaction is driven by a default mode of self-talk. Most people are simply waiting for their turn to speak about themselves. In fact, 60% of our dialogue is dedicated entirely to our own lives and achievements. When you intentionally break this pattern, you provide something rare. By simply listening, you make the other person feel understood and valued. On day 4, you will break your silence to deliver one highly specific, genuine compliment. A generic "good job" feels like empty flattery. A specific observation proves that you were actually paying attention to their work. This specificity satisfies the deep human craving for sincere recognition. It confirms that their individual efforts are being seen and recorded. Intentional silence, combined with targeted praise, forces others to feel uniquely important in your presence, creating a powerful social bond. Day 5 transitions into active engagement. Your task is to ask one person a deep, open-ended question. Ask about their passions or the biggest life lessons they've learned. This applies the core principle of focusing on the other person's interests. You are baiting the hook to suit the fish rather than the fisherman. On day 6, you will practice steering a conversation toward a goal. Secure 3 consecutive yes agreements from someone before you make your main request or proposal. This is a professional negotiation tactic known as yes momentum. FBI negotiators use this sequence to lower resistance and build a shared sense of agreement. As these gates open, each agreement builds psychological momentum. When a person says yes repeatedly, their brain shifts out of a defensive mode, making them more open to your final proposal. Day 7 is the final test, the inception technique. Direct orders trigger an ego defense, causing resistance. When you ask for input, you grant them a sense of control and ownership. For example, instead of telling a junior to fix a report, ask, "How do you think we can make this data more clear for the client?" When they provide the solution, they are no longer following your instructions. They are executing their own idea. This completely eliminates the friction of traditional management. Effective persuasion is not about forcing compliance. It is about engineering a conversation so that people willingly and enthusiastically choose your preferred outcome. By making people feel heard, respected, and important, you transform your social standing from a passive observer to an influential leader. This is your complete 7-day challenge cheat sheet. It details every action from your initial smiles to the advanced negotiation techniques of the final day. Take a second to pause the video and capture a screenshot of this plan. Keep it accessible as a daily tracker for the coming week. Your challenge begins now. Start day 1 with the next person you encounter, and share your results in the comments below as you progress through the week. Passively learning social skills accomplishes nothing. Taking real-world action is the only path to genuine influence and magnetic likability.